And welcome to the regular meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Ossining for Tuesday, May 14th, 2019. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Shaw?
Present.
Councilmember Dettori?
Present.
Councilmember Wiltshire?
Present.
And Supervisor Levenberg.
Here I am. Okay, so we are going to open a public hearing this evening on local law number 5 of 2019, Energize New York Open C-PACE Financing Program. We're glad to be considering these enhancements to the PACE financing program that the town currently provides, which is PACE 2.0. And this amendment allows for the onus to be shifted from the town back to Energize New York in the unlikely event that the property owner defaults on their payments. We are always on the lookout for additional tools to add to make energy improvements more cost effective for folks in Ossining. And this project does just that for commercial properties and not-for-profits. Thanks to Sarah Smiley from Energize New York for working with us on this project. We did just receive some additional documents this afternoon, late breaking news, Town Board, from the law firm that represents Energize. So after hearing any comments from the public this evening, I will ask us to adjourn the public hearing to Tuesday, May 28th, our next scheduled legislative session, to give our counsel to the town, Ms. Kristen Ramadana, some more time to review these documents to make sure that the town is adequately protected, which is what Silverberg Stellantis does for us. Is there anybody here from the public who would like to address the board on local law number 5? I'm down, everybody. Take turn. Okay, we don't have anybody tonight who's here to address us on this very exciting new local law. Unless my board colleagues have any comments on this, I would ask for a motion to adjourn the public hearing to May 28th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you very much. Next up, we have public hearing on local law number 6 of 2019, which is establishing the position of alternate for the town's land use boards. We had originally called for a public hearing to be held at our last legislative session in April, but after some consideration, it seemed appropriate that this law not only apply to the planning board to allow us to have an alternate member, but also the zoning board and architectural review board. So all 3 of our land use boards. Just for a reminder, the architectural review board is actually comprised of the same members of the planning board, but they are considered 2 separate and distinct boards nevertheless. So thank you very much to Town Council Donna for making this change to the proposed legislation. Based on public comments that we received tonight, I anticipate we will discuss the language of this new local law at our work session next week. Is there anybody here from the public who would like to address the board on proposed local law number 6 of 2019? Once, going twice, gone. Any comments from board colleagues about this local law number 6? Hearing none, might I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing to May 28th and a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, so moving right along, we're going to go into announcements. And I will start those off by reminding everybody that next week, May 18th through May 24th, is Safe Boating Week. This past Saturday, Assemblywoman Sandy Galiff and Senator David Carlucci's office held a press conference at Chatham Yacht Club, and I'm happy to say that in attendance were Councilwoman Feldman and Dettori, and thank you very much for attending. I got there a couple minutes late, and I missed all of the fun stuff. They were proclaiming this week as Safe Boating Week in order to remind everyone of the importance of observing all safety regulations and being responsible while boating. The press conference was held just before a boating safety class at Chatham, which is taught by the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. I thank Honorable Bob Barayo, past Ossining Village trustee and Coast Guard Auxiliary member and boating safety teacher extraordinaire, for bringing this important information to our attention. As a Hudson River waterfront community with many avid boaters, I encourage everyone to learn more about safe boating practices by either attending a boat safety class, some of those are offered online, or visiting safeboatingcampaign.com. I would also like to share with you a few boating safety tips to get you started thinking about this very important issue. Please always wear a life jacket when out on any craft on the water, one that is U.S. Coast Guard approved and fits you properly. Know the state boating laws. Make sure your boat is prepared with a vessel safety check offered free of charge with your local U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary or U.S. Power Squadrons. Know your boat's capacity. Check the weather and the water temperature and dress appropriately. Always file a float plan with someone you trust. Learn more at floatplancentral.org. Always follow navigation rules. Learn more at boatoncourse.com. Don't drink alcohol while you are on a boat. Learn more at operationdrywater.org. Beware of carbon monoxide poisoning, I guess from other vessels that are out there, and or your own boat. Keep in touch with at least 2 communication devices like satellite phones, emergency position indicating radio beacons, VHF radios, and personal locator beacons. No, cell phones are not reliable in emergency situations on the water. So if you follow all of these very good safety boating safety tips, you will be in much better shape when you're out on a boat. Also, be aware that if you're on a small craft, such as a paddle boat or a kayak, something like that, that there are others on the water who may not be able to see you. So make sure that you are aware of what the rules are of the water. Please be sure to stay safe while you enjoy the many recreational opportunities on the Hudson River, which are available here in Ossining. Now, a quick update on... Woman Tori, did I catch them all? Is there anything that you wanted to add to that from as a boater? Okay. Okay. Your microphone is on, just so you know. Okay. Anyway.
Very good, Dana. Supervisor Levenberg, I mean.
Thank you. Okay, now a quick update on the Old Albany Post Road wall project that started, I think, at the end of last week, maybe Friday. We had a quick start to this because we have a situation which we needed to address right away. So we have an update from Highway Superintendent Connolly. The repairs consist of drainage improvements, repointing, and resetting of the stones of 2 retaining walls on Old Albany Post Road. One of the walls, the northern wall, is almost complete, and the town's contractor will now shift to the southern wall, followed by drainage work for both walls to complete the project. The southern wall needs a little bit more TLC than the northern wall, so we are now expecting the project to last a few more weeks than we originally predicted, so it will most likely be until the end of June or early July, especially if the weather continues to be as uncooperative as it has been these past few days. Highway Superintendent Pete Connolly and Town Village Engineer Paul Frioli have been monitoring the progress of this project and checking in on the job site every day. You should continue to expect some traffic delays during weekdays for the duration of the work. Thank you for your patience as we complete this much-needed infrastructure improvement. We are looking for businesses and organizations to host this year's Mind, Body, Spirit Ossining events. As you may remember from past years and weekly updates, and also named by Councilwoman DeTore, just to add that in. This is a program led by the town of Ossining, partnering this year, we're very happy to announce, with Open Door. We invite local fitness and wellness experts to lead classes for free in town parks. This initiative aims to promote local businesses, in addition to encouraging the community to lead healthy lifestyles and enjoy our many beautiful parks and open spaces and learn how you can take advantage of them. If you are interested in hosting a class, please email Victoria Caffarelli in my office at vcaffarelli, that's CAFARELLI, at townofossining.com with the following information about your proposed class. Include the name of the program, a program description, an image, dates of the program that you are looking to host, and we're aiming for the weekends in June, July, August, and September. Program time of day, program location, and you can get a listing of all the town and village parks on our website, and the age range of participants. Stay tuned for information about the season's programs and ways to register. At last Tuesday's Town Board special meeting, the Town Board issued a request for qualifications for professional services to establish a local waterfront revitalization plan in the town of Ossining. The town is seeking qualified firms or individuals to help complete a grant application for this year's consolidated funding application and define a scope of work for developing the plan, and that is through New York State. Responses are due back to the supervisor's office this Friday, May 17th, so we are excited to hire a firm and get started working on the grant application in advance of the July grant deadlines. The full request for qualifications is available on the town's website at townofossining.com. Apply for this grant to write our local waterfront revitalization plan. Applying for this grant is a strategic choice for us so that in future years we will be better positioned to apply for and win additional funding from the state and other entities to actually implement some of the projects that are identified in the plan once it's been adopted. Summer camp registration is open. Check out the recreation catalog on the Village of Ossining's website at villageofossining.org, and I know that that same is true for the Village of Briarcliff. You can click on the recreation tab on the Village of Ossining's page to get to all the offerings and to register your child for summer camp online. This year, pre-K through first grade will be at Brookside. Second through fifth graders are either at Ryder Park or Claremont School. I believe there's still a waiting list for Ryder Park unless something's opened up. And sixth through ninth graders will be at Veterans Park. Through Ossining Recreation, you can also access some of the amazing art programs that we have to offer at Cedar Lane Art Center over the summer, so be sure to check it out. And this just in, also, we found out that our buffer in a bag arrived today to the Town Parks Department through the Trees for Tribs Buffer in a Bag program through the Department of Environmental Conservation. We applied for and got a buffer in a bag, and tomorrow, if any of our town board members or tree enthusiasts would like to join us, we will be at Ryder Park at some point in the late morning or early afternoon planting some for tributaries. There's a lot going on this weekend here in Ossining, starting out with the Ossining Historic Cemeteries Conservancy is hosting their gravestone cleaning and restoration workshop from 9 a.m. to noon at Historic Sparta Cemetery. That, Tom? Pretty nice on there, right? Okay, fantastic. It's free, fun, and educational for all ages. No experience necessary, just elbow grease. And the materials and training will be provided on site. Students can get community service hours. Go to ohtc10562@gmail.com or check out their Facebook page. And again, that's Historic Sparta Cemetery at 181 Revolutionary Road, Saturday, May 18th. Also, on Saturday and Sunday, May 18th and 19th, you can celebrate Creative Ossining at Henry Gordine Park. Organized by the Ossining Arts Council and the Ossining Arts Project, this event highlights historic and contemporary creative Ossining with live music and more. And it makes it easy for those going to the Garner Arts Festival by ferry to enjoy the arts in Ossining as well. Ossining Recreation and Parks is looking for groups and individuals interested in taking on a small project as part of Stash the Trash this weekend. This is Ossining's annual effort to help clean up and beautify the community, taking place Saturday, May 18th. Projects will be supported by the Village of Ossining Parks Department and include cleaning up litter, flower planting, raking, and more. You can organize a group to take part in this community event on Saturday between 9 a.m. and 12 noon, or just show up for an assignment. Contact the Village of Ossining Parks and Recreation at 941-3189 for more information. If you are in need of adding some sparkle into your daily reading time, come to the Ossining Public Library at 10 a.m. this Saturday, May 18th, and make your own charm bookmark with local artist Robin Laurito. All materials will be provided, and you will leave with a beautiful bookmark to give as a gift to your favorite voracious reader, or if you took Maddie and Victoria's book recommendations from last week, you are that voracious reader, so then keep it for yourself, no judgment. Be sure to register for the workshop in advance by calling James Trapasso at the library at 2416, extension 327, or email him at jtrapasso, that's TRAPASSO, at WL, S as in Sam, mail.org. Saturday evening, check out Mala Waldron at Westchester Collaborative Theater as part of their Music in the Air month. Mala, who is a vocalist and keyboardist, will be joined by Christopher Dean Sullivan on bass, Tani Tabal on drums, and Alan Wan on sax and flute. Come down to Water Street for a night full of soulful jazz. $20 gets you in the door, which opens at 7 for a 7:30 p.m. show. Or right up the hill on Main Street, jazz trio Rio Nova will be playing at Good Choice Kitchen, also beginning at 7:30 p.m. Check out Ossining resident Nancy Carmichael on vocals with guitarists, mandolinists Martin Aronchik and Richard Brooker, who will share 2 sets. Make sure to call 930-1591 in advance to reserve your seats. There will be a $5 cover charge to see the band, and the kitchen will be open, so come hungry. Finally, you can check out Ashling and Friends. Come to Theater O for their second Ossining performance starting at 8 p.m., also this Saturday. A lot of music going on this Saturday. This quartet will play an eclectic mix of covers as well as 2 original pieces written and performed by Ossining resident Ellen Marzelli. There's a $10 cover for this one, and space is limited. Be sure to reserve your spot in advance by emailing OLF, as in Frank, music, at optimum.net. Councilman Wiltshire, where are you going? Saturday. Anybody? Okay. Guys, you need to tell me your music picks because there are a lot of choices. Also, the Ossining Boat and Canoe Club will be holding their annual commissioning day and Veterans Memorial Ceremony on Sunday, May 19th at 11 a.m. Councilwoman Feldman, I'm sure, will be there to greet you. I, unfortunately, am not going to be able to make it there this year, but it is a wonderful tribute to our veterans who have been lost at sea. And please take some time to get down to the waterfront and enjoy that. Very important, please do not forget, next Tuesday, May 21st, not as written in my last update, which unfortunately told you to go vote today, but next Tuesday, May 21st, is our annual school and library vote on the Ossining School and Library budgets and School and Library Board trustees, as well as on the Briarcliff School budget and their school board trustees. Voting will take place at Ossining High School in the small gym from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., and in the Todd Elementary School cafeteria from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Make sure to vote next Tuesday or pick up an absentee ballot at any of the schools or Ossining Library if you anticipate being out of town that day, and let your voice be heard. All right. Whew. That's it for my announcements before we get into departmental reports.
The ballots are also online at the Ossining Schools website.
Absentee ballot. Okay. Good to know. Also online, you can download an absentee ballot, but you still have to sign it and bring it back in, probably to the main office
Yes.
building. Anybody else? Okay. Hearing none. We have one departmental report this evening from our own town comptroller, Thomas Warren. Tom, thank you so much for coming tonight to give us a little bit of an overview of where we stand with our town finances. And I actually have a copy to follow along.
Thank you, and thank you, Supervisor Levenberg and members of the town board. I'd like to first talk about the New York State Fiscal Monitoring System. Earlier this year, the New York State Office of the State Comptroller's website posted the results from their statewide fiscal monitoring system for the 2017 fiscal year. The system was initially established in 2013 to identify local governments experiencing fiscal strain. The report is always issued a good year following the reported year, that is 2017. Data is now being reported in early 2019. I'm pleased to report that for the 6th consecutive year, 2017, the town has received no designation with regards to fiscal stress. Now, I'm sorry, no designation, would almost sound like it's nothing.
Right.
But actually the no designation status is the best rating, and is similar to receiving negative assurance that the State Comptroller's Office found no indication of fiscal stress upon review and analysis of the latest filed annual financial report update document for the 2017 fiscal year and other data available to OSC. The review and analysis included rating indicators such as fund balance levels, revenues versus expenditures, various cash ratios, debt levels and debt trends, personal services and employee benefit expenditures as a percentage of total revenues, and also debt service expenditures as a percentage of revenues. The 2017 fiscal stress score was actually a rating of 0.0%, indicative of no stress, and this was the same score that the town received for 2016 and 15, and was actually down from a high score of 1.7% in 2014. There are also environmental indicators which show a continuing very low rating trend over the past 3 years, which is a good thing. It was at 20.0 for 2017, which is 20 out of 100. These environmental indicators are not really in the town's control and include things such as a change in population, a change in median age, child poverty rate, change in property values, unemployment rate, and reliance on state and federal aid. The 20 rating for 2017 was really attributed to just one of these factors, and that was a 6.05% decrease in property values, which was still lower percentage than what the state had reported for town peers in the mid-Hudson towns at 8.2% decrease, and medium-sized downstate towns, which is higher at 9.2%. 9.2% decrease. Of interest was the state controller comparing the town of Austening's fiscal stress score measurement and percentages. Again, we're comparing a 0% fiscal rate score against all of the towns in New York State for 2017, which were rated at 5.2%, and also against all other mid-Hudson regional towns, which were rated at 5.4% fiscal stress, and against medium downstate towns rated at 5.7% fiscal stress score. So it's very positive news that the town of Austining continues to have fared so well, and so much lower against all the different categories of the town that the state controller compares us to. So good news again. Job well done by Town Supervisor Dana Levenberg, the town board, and by town management and employees. And a shout out to my deputy, Dale Ferreira, for the great work that she does with management of town finances. And now that the town's annual financial report update document has now been filed for 2018, the state will now begin review of the 2018 data for reporting back in a year from now.
Right.
I'd also like to talk about other fiscal trends and data. Now I'd actually like to advance it to something more current. That's 2018. The 2018 fiscal year audit was conducted during the first week of April, and Deputy Controller Dale Ferreira has completed the management discussion and analysis narrative and the charts, which is a very lengthy town-produced document that is included in the town's audited financial statements. It gives a good overview of the town's finances from the town's perspective. Now, I don't want to duplicate the presentation that the auditors will be giving to the town board in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm going to keep my discussion to a very high level. In the townwide general fund, fund balance remained fairly stable, with a fund balance decrease of less than $103,000 for 2017, and was at $3.3 million. So it was a very small decrease. Real property tax revenues were about $325,000 less than budget due to an increase in deferred taxes from unpaid tax liens, many of which are in payment plans with the town, which I just happen to note that tonight there's a few more that are being voted on and approved tonight by the town board. As you know, the town has to make the county and school districts whole for their tax warrants. It has to enforce and collect all unpaid property taxes, including, of course, town property taxes as well. Over a series of a few years, the variance of tax revenues swings positively and negatively, and is dependent on a calculation of unpaid taxes in the first 60 days following the end of the town's fiscal year, but over a long trend period of time, many years, should average out to zero. So the decrease and a negative variance this year will hopefully be swing the other way in for 2019 with some of these tax collection agreements that is being entered into. Also reflected in the fund balance decrease was a nearly $67,000 transfer to the Capital Projects Fund for needed park revitalization capital projects, capital project improvements, including $40,000 for repairs and improvements to the caretaker's house at Ryder Park, and also nearly $12,000 for park pavilion improvements at Gerlach Park. Good news also for the Town Outside Villages funds in the unincorporated area of the town, with fund balance increasing by $569,000 to almost $3.7 million. By comparison, the fund balance in the highway fund decreased by nearly $350,000 during 2018 and aggregated $727,747 as of December 31st, 2018. However, there were good reasons for the fund balance decrease. Fund balance of about $286,000 carried over from 2017 in the form of purchase orders was committed for the purchase of a Freightliner dump truck and for a new backhoe in 2018 instead of issuing debt. So that was a positive use of fund balance for capital purposes instead of issuing debt. Also, an additional $126,000 was used to pay off a portion of the bond anticipation note for the old Albany Post Road dead end capital project that was initially started back in 2013, I believe, instead of converting the balance of the band to the serial bond. And I'll be talking later about use of 1 year bond anticipation notes and how you can only roll them over for up to 5 years.
I think we're still waiting for some FEMA money to come and
Absolutely. There's still.
pay us back for that
Yes.
project.
Yep. And
Buffers.
yes, and there's 2 other bond anticipation notes that were issued in subsequent years as well for this project. So the project is still ongoing as far as the town's concerned. And also the Highway Fund had also transferred nearly $39,000 to the road paving project in 2018. Again, use of fund balance for capital purposes. And aside from real property taxes that I talked about previously, other major revenues for the town are mortgage tax and sales tax distribution revenues. A year ago, I had reported very good news about the mortgage tax revenues. It started to actually increase significantly in 2017. We had actually had 8 years of mortgage tax revenues that had, averaged between $500,000 and $630,000. And last year, we had reported that for 2017, we had actually exceeded $1 million in mortgage tax revenues, which was the first time that we had exceeded $1 million in mortgage tax revenue since 2008. For 2018, revenues were a little bit better than they had been previously, not above $1 million. We'd actually ended the year in 2018 with almost $661,000 for the year, which was $114,626, or 21% more than what was estimated in the budget. And also on sales tax, we had actually had stagnant revenues for 2015 and 16, which had only actually, I think 1 year was up 1% and 1 year was down 1%. We actually had a better year for 2017, where sales tax revenues were 4.49% higher than the prior year. And for 2018, it increased again 4.94% to $865,530 for the year, and which was about $165,500, or 23.6% more than estimated in the budget. And we've now received the first quarter 2019 sales tax revenues, which were again increased over last year, up 4.16% over the amount received for the first quarter of 2018. Now I'd like to talk about Moody's Investor Service. The town has not had a formal bond rating since August 2014, which was the last time that the town had issued a serial bond. Bond ratings are required if a bond is more than $1 million, and in terms of going out each year for these one-year bond anticipation notes, we determined in conjunction with talking with our fiscal advisor that it hasn't been cost beneficial to pay for a bond rating to sell the one-year notes. The rates have been low enough that it's been cost effective to issue the BANs without a new rating and to just rely on the rating that has already been issued for 2014. At the time in 2014, the town's bond rating was upgraded to AA2, which is the second highest rating category in the AA group. And bonds rated as AA2 are judged to be of high quality and are subject to very low credit risk. In the years since 2014, the town, as I had indicated, the town had issued a series of one-year bond anticipation notes that did not require ratings. However, Moody's has continued to monitor the town's credit worthiness as a service to the bondholders. And following a series of questions to the town in October 2017, they had issued an issuer comment on the town's credit worthiness. In the report, the Moody's stated Ossining Town's credit position is very high quality, and its AA2 rating is slightly above the median rating of AA3 for U.S. cities. The notable credit factors include a robust financial position, a negligible debt burden, and a small pension liability. The credit profile also reflected a strong wealth and income profile and a healthy tax base. So again, we've come full circle in talking about the town's strong financial position. And as I had mentioned previously, it has been 5 years since we actually had issued a serial bond. The remaining bond anticipation note debt of $935,000 on the old Albany Post Road dead-end capital project is nearing the end of its 5-year life as a bond anticipation note. It must be converted to a serial bond debt this year in August 2019. And at the same time, since we are going to the bond market, it would make sense to convert some of the other debt that are currently financed with bond anticipation notes and convert those to serial bonds because those have also been issued within the past 3 and 4 years and also more recently. And at some point, they're going to be converted to a serial bond as well. These projects include the tax reassessment project, currently with notes outstanding of $240,000, the LED street lighting project with outstanding debt of $120,000, Dale Cemetery improvements, $338,000, Engle Park Spray Park, now down to just over $46,000 after receipt of the $100,000 DASNY grant that the town finally received from the state. And also,
Shout out to Senator Carlucci.
absolutely. And also heavy equipment and machinery debt in 2017, $110,305. And also earlier this year, the town board had authorized bonds of $504,772 for 2 highway department trucks, 2 parks department trucks, and a truck for Dale Cemetery truck. Although that debt has been issued or has been authorized by the town board, we haven't actually issued the debt. We've been using, as authorized by law, we've been using our own resources to actually pay bills as they arrive, hoping that, and some of these certainly take time for the equipment and the vehicles to arrive, so that by the time we issue the debt in August, it really shouldn't be a cash flow problem for the town. But this is, authorized debt that does need to have an actual financing source provided. In total, the serial bond may be about $2.3 million if all of the BANs are converted to long-term serial bonds. Generally, a 1-year bond anticipation note can serve as temporary financing for capital improvements for renewed periods of up to 5 years. However, since a capital improvement can be bonded for the period of probable usefulness, which we call PPU, period of probable usefulness, which is equivalent to the expected life of the asset. Oftentimes the PPU is in terms of 10, 15, or 20 years or longer. I think the equipment that was issued back in January had a useful life stated of 15 years under the local finance law. And so long-term financing is issued when the serial bond is issued for the period of the remaining period of probable usefulness. And because of the need to use a fiscal advisor and bond counsel to access the financial markets, and usually a bond rating for Moody's Investor Service required for the investors, it saves the town money to periodically group BANs together into one serial bond issue. And because of the 5-year limit on a BAN on the old Albany Post Road Dead End Capital Project, this is just such a year to coordinate and convert the outstanding BANs into a serial bond issue. I think that's all I have tonight.
All right, fantastic.
Any questions?
Well, sounds like basically we have good news, and I want to thank you for being such a helpful caretaker of our finance, as well as our Deputy Comptroller, Dale Ferreira, as you mentioned before. I'd like to ask my board colleagues if they have any questions. It was a really thorough report.
Yeah, very
so
thorough.
I don't have any questions, but if you do, you know where to find him and me if you have any follow-up questions. And I'm just grateful for being in a situation where we can make sure that we can make the best use of our public dollars to care for our infrastructure and make sure that we are moving forward in a positive direction. That.
Absolutely.
Long as I think things will be okay as long as they'll keep him in.
Yeah,
check.
yeah, she does have to
All
keep
right.
him in check.
Tell her I said thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Dale.
Send her some unicorns for me. Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much, Tom. Have a great night. Unless, of course, you wanted to stay for the rest of our meeting, which, of course, we welcome you to do. We love having you. Okay. So I think we're up to our resolutions. We're going to ask Ray Caparelli to take us through.
Okay.
Oh, we had liaison reports. Are there any liaison reports? Actually, did you?
Oh, actually, there were a few things. Just a heads up on some of the things that are happening at the rec department for the summer. There will be a family summer entertainment series at Gordine Park. Tales to follow. There will be magicians, juggling, things like that. Very family-friendly fun. And also,
A particular night of the week, or is it
I think they're
Thursday?
still working on that.
Okay.
The acoustic music series will be at Market Square. That will be Wednesdays from 6 to 8, also in the summer. So those are just some events to keep an eye out for.
We'll have our summer concert series as well, which is going to launch on July 4th. No, that's not part of Village Rec, part of Town Rec, and that's going to be launching again July 4th. I'm sorry, with our fireworks, which are going to be July 3rd this year. I think that's a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And then we may have another concert on July 5th. We're still working on that, but we do have the rest of our summer Fridays booked. One of them, I believe, might be on Saturday or Sunday night this year because we have the Fireman's Parade, so that conflicts. I believe that actually it's going to be on a Sunday evening because we found that that's a good day. And we're hoping that our bands, if we do get rained out for any of the concert series this summer, we'll have Sunday as a backup date, and or as the bands are available and our sound person is available. So that's great news, and we thank Mike Risco Music School, Mike and Miriam for helping coordinate the bands this year. They were a really great help, and I know that they put together a little group to work on the band selection, and we have a great lineup. Okay. Any other liaison reports? No? Okay. Let's go into our resolutions as previously mentioned.
Okay.
All right.
Approval of minutes, regular meeting, April 23rd, 2019. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby approves the April 23rd, 2019 minutes of the regular meeting as presented.
Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, approval of minutes, special meeting, May 7th, 2019. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby approves the May 7th, 2019 minutes of the special meeting as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Okay, approval of voucher detail report. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby approves the voucher detail report dated May 14th, 2019 in the amount of $1,383,928.16.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
So this is a large voucher detail report, and that's because we had a fifth Tuesday this month, and so we missed one of our meetings, and also the police, Austin Police, wait to bill us until we've collected our town county taxes. So I think this was the first time that we got a bill from them, so it was about $500,000. So it's a good chunk of that. We're grateful for the services that they provide and for them to being very understanding and waiting to collect that money until we have collected the money to pay them. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay. Contract AD Resource Group, Inc., Free Inventory Part 2. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining authorizes a supervisor to sign an agreement with Davy Resource Group, Inc. of Kent, Ohio, in the amount of $26,155 for the completion of a tree inventory and management plan of street trees in the unincorporated Town of Austining and town-owned properties, including parks and Dale Cemetery. And be it further resolved that this project is being funded by an urban and community forestry grant from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation.
Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
So as you may remember, the town was awarded an urban and community forestry grant from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation earlier this year to complete a tree inventory along roadways in the unincorporated town and all town-owned properties like our parks and Dale Cemetery. We issued a request for proposals, received 2 responses, and are happy to be accepting the one that we believe is more cost-effective to complete the project. We're excited to get the folks at Davy Resource Group, who have been very, very interested in pursuing this, and have folks locally who know our community, to get them out on the road and start inventorying our trees. Any questions or further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Yeah, you can go, and then we're gonna.
Okay. Personnel resignation. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby accepts, with regret, the resignation of Town Councilwoman Karen Dottori, effective May 14th, 2019.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second? I'm going to have to second. Okay. We second. Okay. And so, as we announced last week, we are going to, unfortunately, have to accept Councilwoman and Deputy Supervisor Karen Dottori's resignation from the town board tonight. Not happy about it, but we're going to do it anyway because she's preparing to become the next Village of Austining village manager. We're very sad to see her go, but she's not going far, and we are looking forward very much to working closely with her on many projects in the not-too-distant future. Councilwoman Dottori has been such an asset to our community, and we anticipate that that will not change at all in her new role. We're hoping to appoint a new board member soon to complete the remainder of Councilwoman Dottori's term, which expires at the end of 2019. We recently went through the process of interviewing potential town board candidates when Councilwoman Kim Jeffrey had to step down, and met several qualified and impressive candidates, including our current town council member, Jackie Shaw. We have reached out to some of those others who we believe would be best suited to make sure that they were still interested and available to fill the remainder of the board term, and we intend to announce our decision at our May 28th legislative session. I would like to table this resolution to accept Councilwoman Dottori's resignation until the end of the regular meeting tonight, so that we can have a fully constituted board to vote on the remaining resolutions. So could I have a motion to table this until the end of the meeting?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Abstention? Okay. I guess you don't really have to abstain, but that's fine. Okay, so next up, landlord authorization.
Yeah, permission to sell alcohol at Town of Austin Independence Day fireworks. Resolved that the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce is hereby authorized to operate a concession stand during the Austin Independence Day fireworks event held on July 3rd, 2019 at the Lewis Engel Waterfront Park in the Town of Austin, and to sell for consumption by persons over 21 years of age wine and hard cider, and be it further resolved that the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce will also obtain all necessary permits, including an event permit from the New York State Liquor Authority, and will provide proof of insurance and the letter of indemnity to the town in a form acceptable to council to the town.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So we've been working closely with the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce this year as we prepare for the Independence Day fireworks and the summer concert series, which I previously mentioned. Chamber is helping secure sponsorships and rolling out a new offering, Food Truck Fridays. Chambers requested to sell wine and hard cider at the fireworks, complementing the beer and the craft beer that will be sold by Sing Sing Kill Brewery. The town board needs to approve a landlord authorization form in order to allow them to sell alcohol on town property at Engel Park after they get their approval from the New York State Liquor Authority. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Okay. Memorandum of Agreement, CSCA Employee Benefit Fund Retiree Vision. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign a memorandum of agreement with CSCA Employee Benefit Fund for retiree vision coverage, with all costs to be borne by individual retirees and none by the Town of Austining, effective July 1st, 2019.
Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
So this program will allow retirees to opt to have vision coverage at their expense. We're happy to offer this group benefit to our retirees without incurring any expense on the part of the town. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Resolution authorization to sign Sierra Club Renewable Energy Pledge. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign on behalf of that board the Ready for 100 positive, bipartisan, non-binding pledge circulated by the Sierra Club in recognition of the town's commitment to transitioning to 100% clean, renewable energy for the health, safety, well-being, and continued resiliency of the Austin community.
Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Sierra Club presented to us at our last work session on some of the good work going on in the state of New York, including right here in Austining, in an effort to combat and prepare for climate change. Also at that time, they requested that I sign on behalf of the town board to affirm our commitment to transition to 100% clean renewable energy and encourage other entities to do the same. This is an aspirational, non-binding resolution, and since we have been working on so many clean energy community initiatives with that in mind, it seems apropos that we set a goal in that direction. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay. Personnel Highway Department seasonal appointment. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby appoints Percival Gilchrist, Austining, to the seasonal position of laborer in the Town Highway Department effective May 13th, 2019, at a rate of $12.50 per hour.
Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Okay, so with some changes in our highway department and one employee out on medical leave, the highway crew needs one additional person this summer. Percy has worked seasonally for the town in the past, and we're pleased to have him available again to pitch in for the next few months. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Personnel, Highway Department, part-time appointment. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby appoints Alicia Santucci, Austining, to the part-time position of intermediate clerk in the Town Highway Department, effective May 15th, 2019, at a rate of $13 per hour.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
So at the end of April, Francine Salzarelli, who had been working part-time in the highway department office since retiring from her full-time post a few years back, decided to stop working part-time and really enjoy her retirement full-time. So now we have a part-time position that is vacant, and we will be hiring Alicia Santucci to fill the role starting tomorrow. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay. Tax payment plan 34 Eastern Avenue, Ossining. Whereas the town of Ossining is required to collect town, county, and school taxes for the municipality, with the onus on the town to make whole the county and school district for any uncollected taxes. And whereas the receiver of taxes has been approached by a property owner requesting a short-term payment plan for the owner-occupied property at 34 Eastern Avenue, tax parcel designation ID number 89.19-3-7. And whereas the town board pursuant to Article 5 of the Ossining Tax Code, as authorized by Section 1184 of the New York Real Property Tax Law, before entry of a final judgment, may withdraw a parcel for which payment of real property taxes is delinquent from a foreclosure proceeding and enter into an installment plan for payment of all delinquent taxes, as well as interest and penalties, and does occasionally grant such a plan and has the discretion to accept or reject any proposal by a residential or commercial property owner, providing the owner meets the eligibility requirements set forth in Section 180-17 of the Town Code, and the payment plan conforms to the requirements for such a repayment plan set forth in Section 180-18 of the Town Code. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby grants the aforementioned payment plan, which terms comply with the Town Code, to this property owner, who has been determined to be eligible, with the understanding that this sets no precedent going forward for this or any other property in the future.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
So occasionally, our receiver of taxes, Honorable Holly Perlowitz, will receive a request from homeowners whose property is scheduled to go to auction because they were delinquent on their tax payments to enter into a payment plan to pay off their tax liens. This resolution and the next two following are for payment plans for 3 of these properties. And I'm hoping that we can do shortened form of that.
Oh, I've already discussed this with Victoria. We read the discussion was reading the entirety of the first one so that everyone knew what the standard language was. But the first and third whereas clauses are just pretty much boilerplate language for all 3. So my recommendation was going to be to skip that, as the language is available in the agenda, which is available in the clerk's office and on the website, and will also be in the minutes if that's okay with the board.
What she said. I think it is. Okay. So all those in favor of this first payment plan? Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you.
Okay. Tax payment plan 50.5 State Street, Ossining. Whereas the receiver of taxes has been approached by a property owner requesting a short-term payment plan for the owner-occupied property at 50.5 State Street, tax parcel designation ID number 97.07-2-31. And now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby grants the aforementioned payment plan, which terms comply with the Town Code, to this property owner, who has been determined to be eligible, with the understanding that this sets no precedent going forward for this or any other property in the future.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, tax payment plan 58 Campground, Ossining. Whereas the receiver of taxes has been approached by a property owner requesting a short-term payment plan for the owner-occupied property at 58 Campground, tax parcel designation ID number 90.09-2-55.0058, and now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby grants the aforementioned payment plan, which terms comply with the Town Code, to this property owner, who has been determined to be eligible, with the understanding that this sets no precedent going forward for this or any other property in the future.
Have a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we're up to our monthly correspondence to be received and filed. We have none. Our monthly reports.
Okay, resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby accepts the following monthly reports for the month of April 2019. Town Clerk's Office, Town Tax Receiver's Office, Town Supervisor's Office, Town Building Department, GE Helicopter Report, Dale Cemetery, and Town Highway Department.
With a friendly amendment to as written.
Just one
Town Supervisor's Office. We have a double town. Okay, do you have a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Darn it. Got to the end of all of our regular business, and we now have to go back to the Tory resignation. So, I guess, did we read that resolution already?
Yes.
Very, very, very unhappily. What?
Do you want to just briefly read it again?
Let's just read
One
it again,
sentence.
just for...
Okay.
No, I don't. I actually don't. I don't want to hear it again. No, go ahead. Read it again.
Personnel resignation. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby accepts, with regret, the resignation of Town Councilwoman Karen DeTore, effective May 14th, 2019.
Do I have a motion? I have a second. Okay, we have a second. Okay. We already said our things that we had to say. We're very unhappy to have to accept this, but all those with regret who are in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention?
Abstention. Abstain.
I don't think this.
I
I don't have
don't
any
think I
opinion
can-
on
I
it.
don't think I can vote on my own resignation.
Ah,
can I?
probably can, but it doesn't matter. We'll let you abstain just
I don't
this
know. Can
one
I-
last
can-
time.
I defer to council. Weird.
I think it's fine the way you did it.
Yeah, it is fine. Okay, so with great regret, we are now at the point in our meeting when you can leave if you want. Oh, did you want to say something?
I do
Oh,
want
you
to
wanna
say something.
Okay.
I do want to say
Okay.
it has been my great honor and a privilege to serve the town of Osnig. I'm grateful for those who supported me, voted for me, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I am so grateful to sit alongside my colleagues, Supervisor Levenberg, Councilman Wiltshire, Councilwoman Shaw, and Councilwoman Feldman, who unfortunately is not here tonight for my last night, but that's okay.
She heard her.
I hope she's doing well. But anyway, and it's been a great pleasure, and thank you to our council, Christine Hadadana, and also Victoria Affarelli and Maddie Zahach, who's not here tonight. It's really been a pleasure, and I will miss being here on Tuesday nights, but you can catch me on Wednesday nights.
On TV.
Same bad station. So thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you so much. Did anybody else want to say anything?
We're definitely going to miss you. It's been wonderful working with you. I don't know what else.
Yeah, it's just been nice. And
Thank you.
we'll miss you, of course. Updated on these buildings and things, you know. And I used to work on them a lot too, but not on the end that you work on. Mine was mostly under the buildings. Yours
The inside
all
and out.
through, yes. But good luck in your new position.
And aren't you happy that you're going to have her looking over the village?
I don't,
Liv?
if she can speed things up, yes.
I'll do my best.
I got a road that's in front of my house and ripped up.
I have been actually that came up to date, and I was asking when we were going to get that road fixed. So
I don't know what they're doing, so I don't ask. I wouldn't know if they told me so.
Hopefully they're going to get that fixed up. But they are doing some really great work there. We know that hopefully we'll have a beautiful aqueduct and road underneath and bridge when they are finished. But you are a consummate professional, and we really do appreciate everything you brought to the town board. You can be assured that we will continue to look out faithfully for the unincorporated town where you live, and we will do our best without you. Make you proud.
I have no doubt. With that, I have no doubt.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
And I would like to appoint Councilwoman Liz Feldman as deputy supervisor at the end of the meeting. We will have no deputy supervisor given our loss over here, and we don't want to have any break in coverage. So I don't know if I need to ask for a vote on this or not, but why not? I will just ask my board members, not you, Karen. I don't think I need to, right? I don't need to.
It's always been appointed.
Right, so I just need to, okay, so I would like to appoint Feldman. All right, so that is that. And then we were supposed to have Mike Ritchie from Dolph Rotfeld Engineering to present us an 2018-19 MS4 stormwater report this evening. I'm not sure if I've gotten any update. I do see somebody out there. Is the door locked? I don't know. Somebody out there, but I don't think that is Mike Ritchie.
It's not.
It's definitely not Mike Ritchie because it's a woman. I know what he looks like, and he doesn't look like her. So I have no update. I can find out from our absent Maddie Zahach if she texts me maybe a message if he is planning to come. I know we were expecting him at about 8:30, which it is right now. I guess conceivably we could go into executive session and then come back if you wanted to wait, or we could do the stormwater report without it being on camera, which I don't love to do because I know that's part of our education program. Looking at Mr. Warren to see if he sees any wandering Rotfeld engineers in the outside, and we see none. So we might have to invite him back for another meeting. So talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes. Does anybody have any good news to share? Did everybody have a nice Mother's Day? Do you all take care of either your own mothers? Did your kids take care of you? Did they take care of your wife? Jesse, have a nice Mother's Day? Okay. Well, I hope you took good care of her. Mothers, grandmothers, aunts, her mothers. We have no update from anybody. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to ask for to adjourn into executive session for advice of counsel and personnel matters.
So we're done. We're just going to table the.
And we'll table the stormwater report.
Well, I mean, I think it's an option if you wanted to just go into executive session, and we could go into the back room and start talking and come back out. I was just asking procedurally what your intention was.
Okay, let's just, if we can just chat for a couple more minutes. Any updates from Senator Carlucci's office that you can offer there, Mr. Cohn? If you have anything, any upcoming events. Oh, I did have one more thing that I wanted to mention. I might as well mention it now. Ossining, the Village of Ossining is in the process of updating their comprehensive plan, and they're looking for people who want to be involved and share their ideas. So if you're interested in participating in the comprehensive plan process, which I actually had an opportunity to do many years ago when they had their planning for their last comprehensive plan, and it is a really great process. You get to work with lots of different people and look at all sorts of topics such as the environment, housing, traffic, and parking, new businesses, the arts, and more. You can volunteer to be on one of the committees, to attend public forums and outreach meetings, and to participate in surveys. What you need to do is go to the villageofossining.org and click on Comprehensive Plan, and that will get you on your way to finding out more information about how to be part of the process. So they're soliciting the public right now to be part of that process. Any other updates from anybody's organizations? Is there anything from, I don't know, anybody? Anything? We can only stall for so long, folks, and then we're going to actually take a motion to go into exec, and I think we are going to bid a fond farewell to our dear friend Karen DeTore. That's right. I don't have to. I know you're sad about that. But I think we will take a motion to adjourn into exec at this moment. Okay. Okay, fine. We can do that. We'll take a five. How about
We
that?
can go into executive session.
Right. We'll
in
take
the back
adjourn
room.
into exec, and then if he arrives while we're here, we'll come back and you can hang out. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do that. Camera, TV audience. I know you love our meetings. You're gonna just take a good bathroom. Okay. We're adjourned into executive session. Did I have a motion yet? Okay. A motion to adjourn into executive session.
Second.
Mike Ritchie from Dolph Rotfeld Engineering is here to give us an update on our MS4 stormwater report. This is part of a municipal consortium that you serve, and we are grateful for your continuing help with the oversight that the town needs to have of our stormwater management so that we can make sure that all of our waterways remain as clean as they can.
Thank you very much. It's my
First, we need
pleasure
a
to be
motion
here.
to go back into.
Oh, I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
can I have a motion to go back into our regular meeting?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. You're on.
Thank you again. It's my pleasure to be here, and it's certainly a good indication tonight of, what, 20 days out of the last 24 days, we've had measurable rainfall.
It's been
And-
pretty tough.
Our effort and I represent Dolph Rotfeld Engineering. We have been fortunate enough to work with the town of Austining as well as a number of other municipalities in the county to meet their obligations under the federal legislation, Federal Clean Water Act of 1975, 1972, or 72 maybe. Who's the attorney? You the attorney? 72. And that federal legislation is delegated to the state to implement, and in turn, the state sets the guidelines or the regulations and, of course, passes it down to the municipality to implement. In regards to that implementation, you prepared initially a set of standards and efforts and guidelines that you wanted to address the MS4 requirements in the town. And then each year, this is the 16th year of the program, you report to the state on how you are doing with regards to that implementation. And the minimum measures 1 through 6 are in your program. 1 and 2 deal with education and outreach, and that mostly today is handled by material on the internet. I mean, we were talking earlier about, the current, what the impact of mass media, information media, social media has and on the community and individuals, and this is certainly one area where that's pretty well established. Your program, your annual reports with respect to the program are up on the internet. People can access it, get to know what the requirements are, what the standards are, and how you're reporting that you conduct the program and meet the requirements. Annually, the Rotfeld firm meets with staff, the supervisor, and the superintendent of highways, and the building officials, and any parks or employees, anyone really across the whole spectrum of municipal operations that has requirements or programs or is part of an effort to meet the standards of the Clean Water Act. And we then compile that into a report. We start in March and get with the community, get the input, get any questions or additional information that's necessary to report. Get a draft report back, which is what is being reported to the public tonight. And then when the board is satisfied that it represents your final report, it's filed with DEC by June 1st to meet the requirement. And minimum measures I mentioned 1 and 2 are information and outreach and education. Minimum measure 3 is illicit discharge detection and elimination, and that has to do with inspecting your outfalls, catch basins, and any other sources of stormwater that would enter the system and then consequently are discharged um, into the water bodies of the United States. Minimum measures 4 and 5 deal with planning and development mostly. What happens by way of a building site, how it's maintained to keep water discharge on the site, out of the system if it carries pollutants or soils or construction debris. And then probably the most important overall, other than education and outreach, is what Public Works Department has to do with respect to cleaning the streets, maintaining public areas, particularly parks, and cleaning and disposing properly of polluted material. And with that, I'd say if there are any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them or get you answers. And
Great. Thanks so much. I just wanted to say, I think there's a couple of things that we might not have included in the report, and it occurs to me because we were discussing them tonight. We had applied for and received something called Trees for Tribs, which is a program through the DEC. They sent us some small trees that we're supposed to plant near our tributaries to help filter the water before it lands in some of our tributaries, and that just arrived today. So that was interesting. And the other thing is that we had applied for and received grant money to undertake a tree inventory to complete our tree inventory for the entire town, and we're hopeful that that's also going to help impact our continued oversight of our stormwater, because we know that trees help with
absorbing water,
et cetera. And so I wanted to mention those two things. I also just wanted to do a shout out to the village. The Village of Ossining had implemented a program where they spray painted all of their storm drains, and all around the village you can see, it tells you don't throw anything down here because this goes directly into the river. I think it may even be, is it in Spanish and English? It's in Spanish and English. And I just thought it was something that, I noticed around the village. I think it's great, and certainly something that I think that we might want to consider as a town moving forward to help with any of our storm drains, and just highlight for anybody that might think or not think before tossing, where does that go when you send something into a storm drain, and what
Excellent.
happens, whether it's
you
a
can
cigarette
get
butt.
medallions that can be fixed on the top of the catch basin, and it says, don't, this drains to a water body,
Right.
and don't dispose of
Right.
any polluted material. And the new catch basin, should you do any new construction by way of subdivision or replacement, that message is cast right into the top
Oh, wow.
of the new catch basin.
That's awesome. So that's good news. The other thing I want to mention is that next year, when we normally would be mailing out, we might have talked about this, our information about our refuse and recycling program, which does have a lot of information in it. We are going to be, it's going to be an opt-in program, because we've commissioned through Sustainable Westchester with a company called Recollect. Our highway department has been working on all of the properties in the unincorporated town to make sure that people are going to be able to get information about their refuse and recycling collection on demand. So we will have an opportunity to have, there's an app where you'll actually be able to see, and I think it might even be live, but we're going to go share that out with all of our neighbors when we get that information, where you can just look up what day can I put out my trash, what day can I put out my large and small, whatever, larger pieces, smaller pieces, whatever. And it will also be a way for us to share any information about our stormwater program,
Terrific.
directing people not to use pesticides, fertilizers, anything that has an impact on our waterways. And I just wanted to also mention that we are in 2 or maybe even 3. We're in the Pacansco River watershed, in the Croton River and Indian Brook watershed. And I think some little part of us is also somehow in the Sawmill River watershed. So all of those,
Lucky you.
yeah, all of those, as well as the Hudson River, are impacted by our roadways, our homes, our properties. So we want to make sure that we're extra careful with what it is that we use on our lawns and what we throw into our storm drains and our stormwater collection places, because it all just goes into places where fish live and other members of our environment that have a positive impact on our environment if we treat them well.
The good news there is that the Hudson River is getting cleaner,
Yes.
immeasurably cleaner. The last report by the river keeper was an overall water quality improvement. So something is working. I mean, something is getting across to the communities about the manner in which they handle their stormwater discharges that is beneficial.
We also have a new highway superintendent, Pete Connolly, and he's going to be very interested to take a look at the draft of this report, I'm sure, and to continue to make sure that our highway department helps in whatever way they can with making sure that our storm drains are kept clean and free of debris.
We will get you and him some information now that the reports have been completed and will be filed by June, which has been primarily our focus for the last few months. We will be setting up some training sessions for municipal public works employees and officials. Training is required in 2 respects. One, the supervisory level of public works has to have a 4-hour training class that can only be conducted by the state, but the rest of the staff is required under the permit to have field level operational training. And we will be doing that like a lunchbox effort, an hour and a half at a time, a couple of mornings over the summer, try to do it at different convenient locations throughout the county, maybe 2, 3, 4 communities at a time, save some money, and meet the requirements and get the field staff trained.
Wonderful. Okay, fantastic. Are there any questions? Okay, well, with that, we are very grateful for you coming out at this late hour and hitting 2
My
communities
pleasure.
in one night.
Thank you.
And we look forward to the draft report, and then I guess we will put it on our next regular meeting, May 28th, to approve and accept, and then we can get it filed by June 1st.
Right.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Perfect.
Have a great night. Safe
Thank you.
home.
And give my regards to Maddie. She's
I shall
always
do.
a big help.
She sure is.
appreciate,
Nobody will deny that. That's for darn sure. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks to Matt Sahach for all of her good help in making this come together.
Thanks for hanging around. I told them in Hastings when I left that I was going to go up and talk to Ossining to make sure that the water coming down the Hudson was nice, for them was nice and clean.
Exactly. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Thanks,
Good
Mike.
night.
Okay, and so with that, I would take another motion to adjourn back into executive session and wish you all a very wonderful evening after that.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and so we're just going to have back into executive session to finish up, and then wish you all a wonderful week, and make sure you take advantage of all of the great things happening all around Ossining. We'll see you at the Municipal Building, 16 Croton Avenue, next week, Tuesday, May 21st at 7:30 p.m. Have a great night.